Governor J.B. Pritzker recently signed into law a new measure to update sex education for K-12 schools in Illinois. Supporters say the move will offer age-appropriate information, including teaching younger students about their personal health and safety. But critics say the new standards go too far. Joining us now are State Senator Ram Villavilla, a Democrat from Chicago and one of the law's sponsors, and State Representative Tony Mccombe, a Republican from Savannah in northwestern Illinois, and she opposed the law. Thanks to you both for joining us. So, Senator Villavilla, let's start with you, please. The new law moves Illinois in line with the national sex education standards. Students will learn about topics that include consent and healthy relationships, gender identity and sexual orientation, and sexual health, among others. Why did you think it was necessary to adopt these standards?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. Look, we've all seen the news. We've all seen the reports. There's been a rise in child sex abuse scandals, sexual harassment in the workplace, sexual assault on college campuses, and bullying of LGBTQ students and people of color. Our youth see this coverage. They need medically and factually accurate information, as well as a safe environment to develop the skills they need to navigate our modern world. Senate Bill 818 does just that. It establishes requirements for public and charter schools that decide to teach this education that is age and developmentally appropriate, medically accurate, and inclusive.
Now, there are other topic areas included as well, including anatomy and physiology, puberty and sexual development, as well as interpersonal violence. Representative Mccombe, you say, though, that this bill misses the mark. Why?
Absolutely. Like several bills that is unfortunately passed out of Springfield, they always go too far. And this is just one of those. 6 years ago, there was a comprehensive bill that passed actually by the House sponsor, who also carried this one, Leader Lilly. And that at that time was for 6th to 12th grade, and this now goes from K to 12. And I think the senator and all of us on both sides of the aisle can agree that we want kids to know the difference of good touch, bad touch, bullying, health and safety precautions, also agree about learning about consent. But this here is determined, this curriculum will be designed on the national sex education standards. And that's where I have an issue. I don't understand why we're getting away from the state. Was there any data showing that the state wasn't developing curriculum that was keeping kids unsafe or in a position that they were not able to educate themselves? The age appropriate is also pretty sketchy, in my opinion, because it doesn't define it. So what one feels is appropriate for a K through 3, another might not.
Well,
so that's
let's get into that a little bit. Senator Villavilla, critics say, as we just heard from Representative Mccombe, that the standards are not age appropriate. Are they broken down by age group, and how so?
Well, they are, and we give examples. We had a spirited debate in the Senate about this. In younger grades, for example, kindergarten through 2nd grade, the focus is personal safety, what it means to be a good friend, good touch and bad touch, and being able to talk to parents and trusted adults when someone wants you to do something that makes you uncomfortable or unsafe. I'll also add, though, we're not delegating to national standards. We have it in the law that says by August 1 of 2022, the Illinois State Board of Education shall adopt standards with input from youth, from parents, sexual health and violence prevention experts, healthcare providers. Additionally, schools will retain local control through the selection of curriculum and instructional materials. And lastly, a parent or guardian still continues to have the right to opt their student out of instruction. So the argument that we're deferring to the national sex ed standards, I don't buy it. We put it in the law that appropriately, but we believe in our state and we want input from our youth, parents, and teachers.
To that end, Representative Mccombe, you've called these standards sexually charged. We just heard from Senator Villavilla that parents are allowed to opt out. Districts that don't teach sex ed don't have to follow these new standards. Does that address any of your concerns?
Well, I strongly disagree. The curriculum will be designed using the national sex education standards. Now, I'm not saying that you have to use all of the standards that they define. They have several points in that. And one of the things, and it doesn't even say, there's 16 points that they want you to follow, and not one of those is medically accurate. Not one of those. So that's a big deal. They will be designed by this. And when you're talking about local control and opting out, what is wrong with state control? Why are we taking this on the national side? There was 8 Democrats in the House that voted against this with concerns because the state will no longer have control or be able to give input to these national standards. Now, the opt-out is interesting as well, because if the opt-out is not bothering some, then why not an opt-in? And the answer to that is because parents won't opt in.
So, Senator, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's important. Obviously, we have age appropriate and developmentally appropriate and medically accurate. When we talk about accurate, I want to give you accurate facts. Check the bill. Go to the website, ilga.gov, Senate Bill 818. It clearly states, by August 1st, 2022, the Illinois State Board of Education shall adopt rigorous education standards with the input from youth, parents, sexual health and violence prevention experts, healthcare providers, and so forth. It also clearly states that the schools will retain local control through the selection of curriculum and instructional materials. So again, this argument that we're deferring to the national standards is simply, to borrow a word, not accurate. And by the way, don't take my word for the importance of this legislation. Look at who has supported and developed this legislation from a stakeholder standpoint. The Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, the Illinois Public Health Association, the Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence. I will choose to stand with medical experts and survivors.
And I see Representative Mccombe shaking her head, so I know that there is some disagreement here, but unfortunately we're out of time and we do have to leave it there. Lots to discuss here. My thanks to State Senator Ram Vilivalam and State Representative Tony Mccombe for joining us.
Thank you.